Back 4 Blood is by no means a perfect game. It has a whole host of issues. The difficulty scaling is utterly atrocious, the level design is lacking in variety, and solo play is disappointing to say the least. I originally thought of making a review and criticizing all these things, but I decided against it as I saw another side to Back 4 Blood during my time with it. I saw a game that was built on a couple core systems that are implemented spectacularly. While the first impression of a game is very important, we live in a day and age where games are known to launch with underwhelming enthusiasm and evolve over time. By no means am I saying that games are welcome to launch busted or boring, but rather to remind you that we live in the age of games being ever evolving. The thing about Back 4 Blood is I don't think that it is busted or boring. The foundation is solid. I was worried the card system would hurt the game more than it would help. The specialist gimmick is something we've seen have some pretty bad ramifications in the past. Even recently, a similar system has been criticized in Battlefield 2042. The reliance on ADS instead of hipfire could have seriously hurt the game's pacing. A lot could have gone wrong with the foundation Turtle Rock built for this game, but for the most part, I see very few issues with these three core features. The card system was a lot more robust and varied than I was expecting. It feels like a true evolution from its Left 4 Dead inspiration. The cards are plentiful and add some replay value to how you engage with the gameplay. One run could be done as a medic who uses cards to revive faster as well as heal for more with every bandage, while the next could be done as a melee build focused on out-healing the written purely through cards in your deck. It allows the team to also coordinate their strategy. You will want to kit out your team with a healer of some kind, but just as important is to have a tank who can get in there with a shotgun and clear out a good chunk of Ridden. You may also find use for a rifle player who can do extra damage to weak spots, as well as a player focused on resupplying the team with ammo and grenades. There are many different playstyles in Back 4 Blood, and it's all thanks to a combination of the card decks and cleaner variety. It takes the already replayable nature of Left 4 Dead and its director and adds on top of that player expression and strategy. The card system also taps into something I've been referring to as layered complexity. The game gets you accustomed to playing it at its most basic level. Very few cards, just learning the basic of weapons, levels, and characters. Then, as you unlock more cards, you start to formulate a build based on your preferred playstyle. The more cards you unlock, you can specialize even further. Then you can combine this with a team composition that can create a well-oiled machine, running through levels with very few mistakes and maximum efficiency. I will cover this topic more in depth in another video, but it's an extremely addictive way to design a game. As you peel back one layer, you find two more to get lost in. The de-emphasized hipfire was something that initially put me off a little bit. Left 4 Dead was better without aim down sights as it let you keep your focus on the larger hordes around you. What I found was that over time you're actually better off without ADS as some of the cards take it away in favor of other powerful upgrades. You can also upgrade your accuracy through the card system, making the hipfire completely viable. Some weapons and builds may want to stick back and still ADS, but for the most part running around hipfiring is not only viable, but encouraged. Basically, what I'm trying to illustrate is that while Back 4 Blood has quite a few issues, the core of the game is solid and begging to be built upon with new levels, weapons, cards, and cleaners. While the difficulty goes from baby mode to Navy SEAL training to being a demon in Doom, this can be adjusted and tuned fairly quickly. They don't need to rework the entire game for it. While the current levels are disappointing with how often they repeat, the gameplay wasn't built around the levels. New content in the future could rectify this issue. I will talk about a few of the systems that definitely do still need some work though. The weapon attachment system needs to be fixed because not being able to transfer your attachments to a new weapon is ridiculous. It doesn't help that weapons have different rarities that you may pass over because of the amazing attachments you currently have on your weapon. You should be able to remove any attachment except for the red broken ones, as I feel those add a little bit of risk when finding a shiny new gun. Then you would have to either wait till you get back to the safe room, or you can use a toolkit to take off that broken item to add on your other one. This may be a lot easier than the other fixes as they have most of the code there already. The attachments are removed when you swap to new ones anyway. They just need to implement a system that allows you to remove them yourself. This would massively improve player choice as they don't have to rediscover all the attachments that they found swapping to a new gun. The biggest problem in the game right now is definitely solo play. Luckily, the developers seem to be taking care of this problem. Currently, there is no way to play offline by yourself. The current solo campaign, recently renamed to Training Mode, unlocks all the cards for you, and you receive no supply points to unlock cards for the other modes. With the introduction of a proper solo mode in December, I can tell the developers truly care about the well-being of their game. The annual pass seems like a business model lost to time with the introduction of the Battle Pass, but I think it makes more sense for this style of game. I just really hope that the only thing they lock behind a paywall is the new maps, and maybe some exclusive skins. I understand that this probably won't be the case, but I worry that a $40 annual pass will push more people away from the game than inspire them to jump in. This is even more true a couple years down the line. Look at a game like Dead by Daylight. If you were to get into the game right now, you would need to pay a ton to unlock all the content on offer. Even though the base game sells for $20, the cost of everything would be about $125. As of now, Back 4 Blood is set up to be an even heavier price to pay. I feel a combination of new acts and exclusive skins would be enough to get people to pay for the annual pass, but leave the new cards, cleaners, and weapons out of it. This would encourage more people to jump back into the game and try out the new cleaners and unlock new cards without having to shell out $40 for an annual pass. If they like what they see or realize that the game is up their alley, they might be more willing to put down that $40 to play some new acts and get some awesome skins. While I think this is ultimately better than a battle pass, I worry about how this will affect the game's longevity. Back 4 Blood is a solid game right now, and with some work could be fantastic. My optimism for its future is rooted in that I feel the foundation of the game is strong, but the surrounding systems need some love. I'll be keeping a close eye on Back 4 Blood over the next couple years, and plan to purchase the game's first annual pass when it does arrive next year. Hopefully they don't mess it up.
Shit.